Hello guys, welcome back to SWS Boxing. Delighted to get on the channel. Shaun Simpson, he's making his professional debut at York Hall, Bethnal Green on the 14th of September on the Steve Goodwin show against Ian Morrall over 4 rounds, and it's his professional debut. And yes, pleasure getting you on, mate.
Thank you very much. Pleasure to be on here.
Anytime. My first question is, before we get into your debut fight, how did you sort of get into the sport of boxing?
So, used to play a high standard of football years and years ago, academy level football around a local area of mine. Um, Made it till about 15, 16 and been released. My dreams were crushed. Didn't really like football anymore. Fell out of love with it. So I knew a few friends, went to the boxing club and yeah, just didn't look back.
And what age did you start boxing then?
So I started around 15, 16, but only started competing around 21.
Is that when you go amateur? Yeah,
Yes,
did you go
so I
amateur?
boxed for England boxing as an amateur. Yeah, I boxed 51 times in total.
Do you know what your record was roughly?
Give or take, I think I won 31, possibly 29. I can't remember to be precise, but around that sort of area. I was over half. So, you know, yeah, so I was over half. I know that.
What was your biggest achievement as an amateur?
I underachieved in my eyes. I always felt I could do that bit more, but I just, every time I hit a quarter final or a semi final in a national championship under 20 developments and things, I'd always meet the winner. So I'd always lose to someone in the quarters or the semis that would go on to win the competition. And that was always gutting for me. 3 years, 4 years running, I hit that. And yeah, then COVID happened, really. So,
Yeah. Would you say your career's been slowed down by COVID or no?
massively, massively. I would have turned pro started of COVID times, but again, I was establishing a business and things like that. So I needed to get the bills paid first before boxing come, and then before you know, you've lost 3 or 4 years. I got back into the amateurs for the purpose of activity more than anything else. Sparring's okay, but you need that activity. You need that rounds banked. Win lose situation. You need to be under that pressure and that intensity. So I got back to the amateurs, got myself as big as I could. But again, as a senior, as many know, probably yourself more than anybody, like you struggle to find fighters as a senior because people have got bills to pay, families to feed, and things like that. So I couldn't be as active as I wanted to be. So I prolonged that amateur career probably a little bit too long, probably 18 months, 2 years, and then turned pro later than I should have done in theory. But now's the time. So we've done it. So we're here. We're ready to go. 3 weeks out.
Yeah, I mean that's came quite quickly, hasn't it? 3 weeks to go, not long then.
No, massively. It'll be a year November that I applied for the license. It was a long process for me. There was this buts and maybes. I had my brain scan that come back perfectly fine. Then they wanted me to have a neuropsychologist report done. So another outlay of cost. I was laying out a lot of money and getting no further forward. It was real disheartening. But like I say, we're 3 weeks away from the debut. So and at your call, the home of British boxing, where I've always wanted to box. Never did box, but we're there.
Yes, indeed. Are you signed with Steve Goodwin then, or?
Correct. Yeah, Steve's my manager promoter. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. And yeah, so you signed with him in November, you said then.
that's correct. Yeah. So I was gonna go. So like my wife's family and things, they've been in around the big promoters and things like that, and I wasn't as talented as they was, or am as talented as they was. So I took a backward step from that, like trying to target that area. You don't get looked at with the likes of your Eddie Hearns and Frank Warrens unless you're winning national titles or in big gyms. So spoke to a couple of people locally, and they influenced me to go with someone like Steve or Carl Greaves. So I had a couple of meetings with either. And Steve had the better deal for me, and I feel like I trusted Steve more in my career. So that's where we went.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to a few of Steve's shows and he puts on good shows.
Correct, yeah. So like the small hall shows at your call, I don't think you get much better. I generally don't think you get much better. The way they're run, the way they're set up, and the quality that's on there as well.
Yeah, and exactly, I mean, I know we'll speak about you in a minute, but there's on the same show you're boxing on, you've got two title fights as well, same night you're boxing.
Correct. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, a Southern Area Super Bantam and an English title.
Yeah, who've you got for those fights?
I would like Ben Lilly to win, obviously the Super Bantam because he lives local to me. He's down the road as such. And obviously Linus is my boy, and I've been sparring Linus.
How good is it to get rounds in with the likes of Linus? Of course, he's boxed for a British title. He's boxed on matchroom shows, and of course, he's fighting for an English title. How good is it to be sparring the likes of Linus?
Well, just Linus alone, you can't warrant, you can't what's the word? But you don't stop learning. Every single round, your cogs are turning, your brain's ticking. You're trying to work out how to get that next shot on him or that next move to avoid what's coming. Honestly, you wouldn't believe how much learning you get from just them rounds alone. They progressed me massively in my career as a amateur going into the pros. So, like I could name 15 pros that I've been sparring middle to super middle in Essex Fight Academy or in the Peacock Gym, where every week I come away with obviously either some high praise where I've done something real well, or stuff I've worked on, I've ticked the box, or what I've done is I've competed at rounds with boys that are levels above me, and I'm happy to do that at the minute. So.
And yeah, is it good to be boxing online on a card with Linus?
Oh, 100%, 100%. Well, the week before that, don't forget Ellis Stewart is on there
Yeah.
as well. Ellis obviously is in the same gym. So I'll be going to obviously root for my boy there as well. Because they're like, I've been doing rounds with both. So I'll be with them both. But just to have that presence of someone that's been and done it at a higher level, bigger shows, it's just the vote of confidence that you need as yourself because he's in your background. He's not in the team, but he's in the team, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
uh,
it's lagging a bit.
are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you've just froze though. Hang on a minute.
Okay.
Huh? You still there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you've gone again.
Are you there?
Gone again. Hang on a
Back.
minute. Ah, we lost connection, but now we're back. Yes. So we were talking about you were talking about the rounds that you've been having with Ellis and of course Linus.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So, like, I've been banking rounds over in Essex Fight Academy, amongst others as well. I've been in that Peacock Gym, Denzel Bentley, Sam King, Carl Ben Fale. I've been doing multiple rounds. I can list Alfie Gaskin, for instance. There's multiple people I've been sparring, 15, 16 different middleweights to super middleweights, banking the rounds, learning the craft, learning the trade, trying to perfect every little nut and cranny I possibly can. So with the Ellis and Linus thing, I know they're on the same card, same team as me as such, because they're still there with the managerial side the same as I am. I think it just benefits me having that extra push from Terry even as well, that's been and seen and dealt with it as a coach. He'll oversee me. He'll be a second to my main coach in the ring. I think on that same night he'll help us out. A bit of handing up, bit of cuts and stuff. And you can't ask for better experience. They've been the scene and dealt it. My coach used to be an ex-pro years ago, but times change. He's not had no pros come from his amateur gym. Um,
Who do you train with?
I train with a coach called Mel Payne. He's my old amateur coach. It's the only person I trust to be with, sort of thing. When that you don't play boxing, as we know, so the pro game is a serious game, and I want someone that I know knows my body, knows me as a person. So that person there is who I trust.
Mm-hmm. And how long have you been training with him for?
12 years.
Ah, cool. Yeah, of course, back onto your debut that you've got Ian Morrall 4 rounds. Is it at super middle or middle?
It'll be 12 stone, so that's super middle.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be
So,
dropping down. I'll be dropping into this first one here at 12 stone, see how I perform, then slowly come down into middle, I think.
Ah, cool. What do you know about Ian Morrall? Of course, he's had 9 pro fights at the moment.
Um, to be fair, I don't know much about him. I leave that. I don't really want to know. I'm not going to lie to you. I'd rather just get in there and listen to what my coaches tell me to do and just deal with it on the night. I know myself. I'm preparing for the best Ian Morale, whether he's had 9 fights or 29 fights or 500. You know, it doesn't matter to me. I know I'm doing the rounds with boys that are English title level, British level, won British titles. I was doing rounds with Brad Paul the other week. The week before I was one of his last spars before he beat Heaney.
Yeah.
So I'm doing rounds with boys that are been seen and dealt with that sort of issue. I'm not overlooking the MRL because one punch can change anything in boxing, but I know my personal opinion and my rounds, my time, running, strength, everything's going according to plan. So just let's hope the MRL turns up on the night and gets the best version of him to make me a better performance.
And yeah, and it couldn't be anywhere better. Yorkall, of course, loads of world champions and the best boxers have boxed at Yorkall. So how privileged are you to be making your pro debut at Yorkall?
Like I said earlier on, I've always wanted to fight there. Even as an amateur, I tried getting there, but finalists and things like that would always beat me earlier on in the stage of the tournament. So I never get there as a pro. Obviously, it's a godsend, isn't it? It's the home of British boxing. It's one of the best venues you'll get for atmosphere. It don't hold many, but it holds enough to make the place electric.
Yeah,
Um, One of the best shows you'll get in the country, in it. By all means.
yeah, and of course, a big part of small hall boxing is it's about selling tickets. Do you still have tickets remaining?
I have a few tickets remaining. Yeah, I don't. I didn't try and grab too many at once. I didn't want to be lumbered with them. So, I'm doing well with my tickets like I normally would. I have a good strong backing behind me as well with sponsorships. So, it allows me to train that a bit more. So I can get more, and I work in the gym, so I can be a people person. So tickets will sell. Probably more around my way. They'll sell closer to the time. So anyway, around now, 3, 2, and probably even the last week, I'll probably sell a few more. As people know, they don't like to pre-book and pre-plan. So yeah, like they're going fine, mate. Yeah, perfect.
And do you want to tell people how they can get tickets and what the prices are?
Okay, so like for the show, we've got £50 balcony and £70 ringside. At obviously the famous You're Called Bethnal Green, September 14th. And obviously they can contact me via a phone number, DM me on social media. My Instagram, Shaun Simpson PT. And then we can go from there. I can either send them via the post or have a meet and greet, depending on where you're situated and where you're local. But let's not miss it. It's going to be explosive. The storm's coming.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, before I let you go, I'll give you a chance to shout out anyone you like, whether that's sponsors, managers, anybody.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. I do shout out to all my sponsors: Paint Genie, Evolution Fire Doors, Moores Lighting, Elite Property Maintenance, Gate and Motor Services, Down and Auto Care, Sarah Melton Fitness, Pete Bell. I think that's about. Oh no, D&H Digger Hire, as well, and Dedicated Care. Sorry, I do. I forget. There's so many at the minute on my list. But yeah, shout out to you all. Without you guys, I wouldn't be allowed to do this and be able to do this. You're backing with, and obviously consent and money, whatever you send to me and things helps in no end. And I'll put on the performance for you.
Mm-hmm. And from me, thank you for your time today, and all the best on September 14th. Hopefully, 1-0, mate. Good luck with the
Thank
fight.
you very much. See you later. Take care.
In a bit, mate. Bye.
Bye bye.